Testes, testes, balls and testes.
Oh
One,
my
two,
god.
three. One, two, three.
Okay, well, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so excited to have you here. Let's start with introducing you, who you are, and what you do.
My name's Katrina Kemp, although I have a million different nicknames.
Okay.
Um, my most common nickname is Queen, and it's Queen with a K. That's just who I've been since childhood.
Love it.
Or Trini. That's more like a family nickname. But I'm an entertainer, creative producer. Um, I've traveled. I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
Um, Born and raised in the Valley, and I'm very lucky. I've had the opportunity to see the world, come back home, live in different parts of America, live in different parts of Mexico,
Wow.
Europe. Like I've, I love to see the world. I love to meet new people. I love to see what art is going out there. And I am really fascinated by people and the history of human ingenuity and pop culture and where it all goes,
Yeah.
how it all relates. So yeah.
I love it. Okay, I know we've talked separately before a little bit about this, but I really want to hear more about your journey as an entertainer, like how you got in, where you started. I know you told me personally you were a part of a circus, right?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
amazing.
Um, my first circus uh, experience and where my circus career really began was in a circus called Cirque Berserk.
Okay.
And when I was when I was in high school, my friend Haley, shouts out Haley, she had been in Cirque Berserk since she was like 14 or something.
Wow.
And so she was like really good friends with them. And there was a little person that was in their cast, and that person was like retiring that role and was like moving or getting married or something. And so when we were like seniors, she was like, "Are you into circus?" Because when I was in high school, I was already doing like a lot of film and television and things like that. And I would always run around town in like costumes. And this was like very much the rise of like MySpace,
Okay.
LiveJournal, just a couple different like very like pop culture like centered social medias at that time. And so I would do like parodies of different things, and
I love
YouTube
it.
was new. And so I would make music videos or dance battles with my friends, and then we would go out and around town, and like even in Hollywood we would go to different premieres and stuff like that, and like wait outside and then meet all the stars. And people started recognizing me like from these random
Oh
like
my gosh,
viral
amazing.
things online or like pictures and stuff. And so I just kind of became like this, you know, sort of jack of all trades when it came to like, oh, and now I'm here, I'm there, whatever. And my friend Haley was like, would you be like, you're interesting, like you're funny, like you could probably bring like some people along to like support the circus and stuff, and like this would open up opportunities for you, like are you into it? And I was like, hell yeah. And I went to some random house in Hollywood Hills and had my first audition, and they were like, the audition was crazy. And of course I realized now, I'm like, oh, it was a clowning audition.
Oh,
And
interesting.
and I just like went full like force into it. And I was like, well, my friend, she's hilarious and wild, but she's a contortionist.
Okay.
And so I was expecting like it, totally had never seen that more serious side of her like contortion.
Oh.
And we did this like little back and forth like silly thing, and ever since then, I have just been connected with circus through Cirque Berserk, and
Oh
that was a
wow.
long, long time ago, and I'm very grateful for them. And after that, I just went into stunts, and then I
Okay.
went into horror movies, and I played Chucky for a very long time at Universal Studios
Oh my gosh,
Hollywood,
fun.
and that was really fun. It was like being Mickey Mouse at Disneyland. You know, everyone's really happy to see you, or really scared and running away. But that was such a wonderful time in my life, and I
Mm,
still got to do circus at the same time and balance all my other careers. And
wow.
I was working really hard in college at the time, going to school for like film and television and photography, and
Wow.
um, that opened up a bunch of different avenues, music videos, things like
Wow.
that. I PA'd for a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Um, and then, uh, yeah, just kept taking up different opportunities like when I could. And then, um, when Miley Cyrus went on her Bangers tour,
Mm.
I got that opportunity to be one of her like legit backup dancers,
Oh wow.
and traveled to a bunch of countries in South America with them,
Okay.
and really just had a really good time adventure. And then I got to join the Screen Actors Guild after that. Um, After that, I joined Actors Equity so that I could work in musical theater with Andrew Lloyd Webber. Traveled with that show for a long time, and then since then have been just continuing to build a resume working in television shows. And now, um, with my partner, Miss Tosh, we run a family business, carrying on a show that she's had for a very long time, Beauty of Burlesque, which you have to see
Woo! Double
Alyssa
shout out.
in May. And yeah, and it's just taken me to a great place where I get to meet all these wonderful creative people
I
such
love
as
it.
yourself. And never a dull day. Never
Yeah.
a
Oh
dull
my
day
gosh,
in
I'm
my life.
sure.
That is for damn sure. That is for damn
Oh
sure.
my gosh, I love it. So when you auditioned for this job and it was clowning, were you auditioning to be one of the clowns?
Yes, I was
Okay.
actually auditioning to be a character called the Madam. She
Okay.
was the Madam
Okay.
of this underworld that was like a dark, sort of like if like Rocky Horror Picture Show and Cirque du Soleil,
Ooh,
where those
wow.
two meet in the middle.
Okay, love
And
it.
yeah, it was really fun. And it was about, actually, you would be super into it. It was
It
very much a
sounds like.
commentary on like
Okay.
a woman who was um, no longer subscribing to the disillusion that was like the 9 to 5,
Okay.
and realizing like she sticks out for that
Mm,
reason. And so the devil like takes her down into the underworld, and
wow.
it's his cabaret. And there's all these different characters, and so one of the characters I played, the Madam, like running around keeping these bitches in line with my writing crop. And
Oh my
I had a
gosh.
routine where early at the beginning of the show, uh we shoot somebody
Okay.
that doesn't isn't going along with like the audience like back and forth
Oh
to
my
shock the
gosh.
crowd.
Right.
And you forget about it, and then way later on, after you've seen a trapeze and a this and
Hmm.
falling from the sky and a whole cabaret number and all this, and then it comes back with me and one of the other clowns, and we're like trying to do some shit with this dead body, and it's like falling apart in different pieces across the stage,
Oh
and
my god.
the head is rolling off the stage onto someone's lap on the crowd. And
Oof.
it was really fun. It was the first like big venue we opened, like downtown Club Nokia. I think now it's like Microsoft
Okay.
Theater or
Oh,
something, but
okay. Right.
And so it was really fun, and that opened up opportunities with the general manager of that venue,
Oh,
and she
wow.
was like, if you ever want to come here, like, just for shits and giggles, like, give
Wow.
me a call. And so I ended up just going to concerts there all the
Oh my
time
gosh.
and meeting
Awesome.
people. And then once I was like, I need a job, because it had now been like a year or something since our residency had ended there.
Okay.
And this was like right at the start of like diversity and inclusion being like the dial turned up to 100, like hearing those terms more like frequently with
Right.
casting and auditions and stuff. And so it was like more a new thing. And I remember like being a series regular as this like outstanding disabled diverse citizen on this show, and then having no like perspective work for like a hot minute after that.
Oof.
And so I asked this general manager, like, hey, I need a job. And she was like, made me a security guard at the venue.
Really?
So I got that job, and I just remember like being on TV at the same time that I was also a security guard.
Oh my
Like in multiple
gosh.
episodes, it was like kind of wild.
Wow, that's so interesting.
And
It's very
in my
Hollywood.
security shirt, standing
Uh-huh.
on my step stool, like
I love
all
it.
these children like bribing me at these like rave shows with like
Oh my
tickets with
gosh.
like $100 bills underneath, being like, please let me in. I'm not 18. Like, whatever.
Wow.
I didn't let them in.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, are you like a
Unfortunately,
hard ass security
I
guard?
was.
Okay, okay.
That they were pretty serious about that stuff there.
Right.
And they yeah, it was just so funny.
Oh
It was
my
so funny. But
gosh.
I you know, basically all that to just say I've
Yeah.
done a lot, and
Yeah.
clowning has always been a part of my life. And
Mm.
I respect it so much. I've always loved circus. I've
Mm.
always had a lot of really inspiring moments of my life and art come from like physical comedians.
Okay.
And so I I love being a clown. I love it.
I love that.
And my style is very like mimey,
Okay.
and I took it with me hard into Love Never Dies, which is this other show that I traveled for with a long time, a musical theater show. It's the sequel to Phantom of the Opera.
Oh,
And
I think I've heard of this.
yeah, and it's all based in Coney Island
Okay.
in New York. And in that one I also play like this madam of the underworld in somewhat
Okay.
of a way, but I'm basically the Phantom's main like henchwoman in the
Okay.
show. And I'm looking over here, and then I'm coming back and spilling all the tea to him. And like, so it was kind of a similar thing. And so I
Right.
just, after those years, I carried over a lot of my like dance with
Mm.
me. So I infused clowning, I infused like hip hop, like
Ooh.
some modern stuff, some
Okay.
pop and locking, like
Okay.
into that role.
Love it.
That I realized like in the past, like, oh, I should have done that then.
Mm.
And I love doing that with characters, like bringing ones from the past and like
Okay.
kind of reinventing them into something new. And there's always a part of them that is me. Like I
Makes
can't
sense.
turn that off.
Yeah.
I'm not.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't.
It's yeah. When it comes to like someone doing method acting or this and that, I'm like, I just bring the shit I've been through in my life,
Right.
and I'll try to carry that in and like drum it up like
Mm.
before as I go out there.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting because I had been on a circus with, and that's one reason I love when other traveling circus performers come on, because it just gets so exciting to talk about different circus experiences.
Yeah, and I want to know how it all like started for you, and because your
Right.
skill is just, and what I really admire about you is that you will keep working on the skill, like in new ways,
yeah.
and change it up, and like
Thank
you're not just doing it when it comes.
Right.
You're like doing things, and then I feel like people reach out to you because they see that you're like
Thank
so
you.
forward thinking and working on that.
Yeah, I get obsessive for
No,
sure.
I love that.
It works well in my favor, I think. But it's I really just love what I do. I can't not do it, and yes, I want it to be good. I want it to be perfect, but it's interesting because I know performers who are like, it has to be absolutely perfect or it can't go on stage.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not like that. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it and it'll be raw. And the first time there'll be some mistakes, but maybe the mistakes become a part of it, and I refine it as I go.
Yes.
But it's usually once it's like really refined and fine-tuned, I start getting bored. And I'm like, my favorite acts are always the very first time I do. Well, your guys' show, I was really tired. So I was really proud the second time I did it. The first time I was like, okay, my fingers really hurt. But
I would never know.
Okay, good.
I would never know.
Oh my God. But the second time I was like, yes. But I really love that first or second time that I do an act because the emotion that I have when I'm creating it is so raw at that time. So it's really that first time that it's so powerful. Whereas as I go on, it gets technically really solid, which is also something to be proud of. But for me personally, that first like raw, these are the emotions I really like. I love, and that's why I love like improv and why I love burlesque, because all my acts are improv when I dance. And so it's really a fun thing, and I really enjoy it. But yeah, I was gonna say it was interesting because one of the circuses I was with, we were touring in Australia, living on a ship. So we had to be very close, whether we liked each other or not.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Circus life. But we had two clowns. And we had Miss Tosh on the last episode, and she was talking about the tall, skinny one and the short, comedic one.
Yeah.
So we had our two clowns, and one was like the Australian, and the other was a Frenchman, and he was the more refined one, but they were both silly.
Right.
And it was so interesting being on tour with them, and doing the show with them, and then having dinners with them, and then traveling with them, and because I was so fascinated by how extremely goofy and outspoken they were. But then when you really sit with them and talk to them, they have such like a profound understanding of life. And there's moments when you're like talking to them where they say something that's too out there, or they're a little too socially awkward or something. But then when you really talk to them, I feel like clowns really get humanity in such an interesting way and then retranslate it in such a palpable way. But they really kind of understand people, for as socially awkward as they are, and as much as like sometimes they don't take, these are the clowns that I've experienced, as much as they don't take social cues sometimes, it's like they really understand some things that I think are really overlooked. So I'm curious, if you kind of feel that way in like, digging into your art form, if you feel like, when it's like you said yourself, these characters you have, you always put a piece of yourself into. Has being a clown kind of made you see humanity in a way that maybe you think when you talk to other people, a lot of people don't quite get?
That's a good question. I think it's so funny. All that keeps coming to mind is like, how and why did you become a clown in the first place is really the root of it all. I think for me, like growing up, I'm the only person with dwarfism in my entire lineage on both sides of my family.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot of people, as I've gotten older, I really have noticed this thing that like the average height community is shocked by, that because they think little people must be around other little people all the time, or my parents must be little people if I'm a little person. Like they don't think, or they don't understand the science, which is that 80% of people with dwarfism are the only little people in their families.
Oh.
Everybody in the world carries the dwarfism gene inside of them, and it just happens with whoever they are making a baby with, that it matches up in that moment, and it's like a kismet thing.
Wild.
But and then that goes into, there's 250 or more different kinds of dwarfism. So then you even add to like the rarity of the situation. I'm meeting you, you're meeting me, and now we're, creating a human being that is like super original, like,
Right.
out of this gene pool. And so all that to say, just being the only little person in my family was very much like expected of, like, you're going to be the entertainer of the family. And that really came from like how I defeated adverse adversity, bullying, things like that in my childhood was humor.
Okay.
And it was literally doing impressions of people, trying to be like as funny as I could, so that if I was bullied or something, like, I always had enough people around me, or people who knew that like I was capable and smart and educated, like on things like pop culture, politics, history, humanities. And so if somebody was really like stooping really low, pun intended, to say like some shit, there would be other people in the room going, oh, like, to that person.
I see.
And we would end up making fun of them or something, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, so and that's, I'm talking way early on in my life, but I am somebody who, I don't walk around getting bullied all the time or anything like that. And I think it's because I I do have a different type of dwarfism that allows me to look a certain way and have different physical abilities, where I can do dance and I am more limber and like, I've just always worked on my athleticism because I had the privilege of family and friends who always encouraged me to stay active and do things outside of my comfort zone.
That's awesome.
So if there was, an adversary in any way, it was usually another little person. Or yeah, or somebody who I has an assumption that I have very low self-esteem.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's just so funny because, like, I if anything, I need to be humbled more often. I'm just but yeah, so it's just, it's funny to me as a clown. That's just kind of where it all came from. So I just kind of stepped into that, like, being myself.
Yeah.
And having that ability to, and like you said, like, see humanity in things, clowns. It's because, like, and you get this as a performer, but there's a current that everybody is on in this plane of existence that we're in right now. But there's multiple planes of existence happening at one time. So there's like what's actually happening and what everyone's seeing, and then there's a subtext of why that's happening and where that's coming from, and where the reaction is going. And then there's also this higher one that's like, how can we make a humor out of this reality that we're all kind of imprisoned in, not knowing why we're on a giant spinning rock filled with water. Like, and there's clowns that see all three of those planes of existence at one time, and they're making a commentary with, like, whether it's something so stupid and dumb and physical comedy-esque, and that's still bringing a smart laughter and a smart like routine and subtext to it. Like clowns, they're so good at that.
Yeah.
And not just clowns, but a lot of my favorite performers, and especially like stand-up comedians, who may play like a character when they're on stage, and what they're saying is like really smart, and they're picking things apart that we all see, but we don't really know how to give, like, exactly, we don't know how to verbalize it, and so that's something that I was very like happy to play a clown and be a part of circus about, and I took that into Chucky also.
Okay.
Chucky was basically a clown act as well, and I still do an act as Chucky, a drag king quick change act.
Okay.
But Chucky is very much a clown, a straight up clown.
Interesting.
And it's like
we're talking about the horror movie. Chucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got the body of a toddler.
Right.
And the mind of this corrupted serial killer, older gentleman in his 30s or 40s, I can't remember. And so the juxtaposition of those two things is immediately clown to me.
Right. Okay.
Because what is more bizarre than a toddler acting like a full-grown man?
So sorry. My Alexa likes to go off at 5 o'clock on Friday. Alexa, off. Yeah, we party and she's still in Miami time, so it's not 5 o'clock, but to her, we're still in Miami, and at 5 o'clock on a Friday, we party.
I love that.
I don't know.
We had an Alexa once that she went off on her own, and she was like starting to whisper, and then she was like, "Tell me to bark like a dog," and we still say,
"Really?"
Tosh and I will still say that. Tell me to bark like a dog.
Oh my
We
god!
were like clutching each other. No, she just went off, and she was like,
"She never."
I'm gonna walk down the path. I'm going down. No. I'm walking up to the garage. I'm going into the house. Should I go down the sidewalk, A, or should I choose B? Go down the driveway. Like, it was a whole. She went off on a whole thing, and
oh my god, that's
possessed.
A little scary.
Possessed. She went full clown. And I was like, all right, girl. Tell me to bark like a dog.
That's wild. I'm not gonna lie, Alexas are a little scary. Like, I woke up one morning and her voice changed over, and I have had her for years.
That did happen.
It really, I was like, go back to your old, who's in my home now? You know?
No, it was weird. And then we tried it with the guy voice. We were like, oh, that's interesting. We tried it with a guy voice. We have no male energy in the house whatsoever. Unless we invite like my friend over. But
I love it's your one friend.
Yeah, we were like, what should we have? We should have like a guy. Let's see what it's like. And we were like, do not tell me what to do with this recipe. Like,
oh my gosh.
Who the hell do you think you are, man? I was like, this is not right. Go back to your old voice.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm dead. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, on that note, I forgot what we were talking about before, but hell,
clowns, humanity,
all the
travel,
all the things. Oh yeah, you explained that really well with the parallel universes. I like not parallel universes, but
the planes.
The planes.
Yeah, there's currents. There's
so
currents of humor and commentary that's happening.
That makes sense.
Even though it may look a certain way, there's something being said deeper than. And so I love to play with parody and satire, and that's really my style, where I'm coming from when it comes to the burlesque world and circus and a lot of different things.
I love how we met. We told the story a little in the last episode, but for you and I, we had never met before, and I come backstage and it's like, Oh, okay. So now I'm doing an act and I am cheating on Mr. Claus. First of all, Asian Mrs. Claus. So random.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I'm cheating on Mr. Claus with Santa's secretary. And like we had just met and I was going into this bowl of milk.
Oh my god, this context.
I just remember running around in the heels with the cape on and or the Mrs. Claus thing and where you're like singing to me and it was just all insanity.
Oh my god. You're just trapped in this messy green room with a person with dwarfism singing at you.
Oh my gosh, it was
literally
amazing.
me trying to give you the context of the music and you're like, I'm going on and got it.
Yeah, you were doing so well at explaining things to me and I was just kind of like,
oh,
where am I? Like what? Milk? Like
no, and
Oh my
you
gosh.
just jumped right in. We I was like, this is gonna work because you already understood the beats that I was explaining.
Yeah.
And so you were like, okay, I was like, let's just choreo this up real quick. Let's make something cute. Choreographed a little thing for us to like boom, boom, boom. We'll just hit these 4 beats together and you are gonna wet this crowd with this cocktail glass.
So great.
And you did
So
that
great.
damn thing. and I did that damn thing. That was the first
Truly.
time I ever performed that act also.
Right. Yeah.
I just happened to know the lyrics because I co-wrote the song. And so everybody just kind of like looked at me and was like, you're the only one that knows the lip sync. You have to do it. And I was like, you're right.
You're right.
Okay. And it was great. And I love that energy of just like, you know what? These people in the crowd, they don't know what they're walking into either.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like you that night.
Yeah.
So it's like,
came with all my friends, thought we were gonna watch a show. Just kidding. You guys are watching me and you're going front row so I can splash you.
yeah, it was so
It was so
fun.
fun,
It
yeah.
was so fun. And after that I was like really I immediately knew I was like, I have to get connected with her and
So happy.
you know, because we just vibed
Yeah.
so well. And I was like, she gets the humor of it. Like, she's not, you weren't being like, oh, but this or oh, but that, which I was like, fully, it makes sense if you, you know, needed a minute or whatever.
No, I
and
loved
you were
it.
just like, yes, 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 yes. Okay, got it. Whip, whip. I was like, she's good. Like, she is on call. Like,
Truly, truly. I actually have to always remind myself that not everyone thinks like, because I'm such a like go-getter, like, just tell me where to be, I'll be there. Tell me what you want me to do, I'll do it.
it's
you know?
really, really hard quality to find in
Yeah.
not just performers, but people
Like
in
in
general,
life, truly.
and especially a show you had never seen, like people you had never met, like, you know. So it's really admirable. It's
Thank
really
you.
admirable.
Oh my gosh.
Because then imagine the other side of that, and I always do this too. Like, if you had said no,
Right.
so you went to a show, and then you saw someone else do it,
Right.
and then you just be like, I could have done that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, and there's been times in my life where, you know, early on, I would be like, no, like, I don't want to, like, make myself too loud, like,
right.
and take away from someone else, like, da-da-da-da-da, you know. And then as I got into, like, my 20s, though, I was like, okay, like, I need to jump in line, like, somewhere,
Yeah.
because
Absolutely.
those opportunities don't come,
It's so true.
and you have to make them.
Yeah.
But when they do come, you have to be prepared
Yeah.
to say yes and be allowed to have people just meet you where you're at, you know,
Definitely.
and just do your best in that moment and bring good energy to it, you know.
Yeah.
And you really did that.
Thank you. Yeah, my friends, they watched my stories and they were like, wow, it's really kind of like a movie. You know, you go to a show and then you get thrown in, and like, it is kind of like, it was like a dream situation that whole day. Even though in reality it was really insane, you know?
Yeah. And then going home wet.
Yeah.
I thought about that later. I was
hair.
we like sent
Oh
you
my
home in an
gosh.
Uber or something, and I was like, she just put her heels back on and like got the. I was
Thanks,
like,
guys.
I think we. I hope somebody gave you a towel. I was like, oh my god,
yeah, I
this
don't
is
even
so.
remember like,
It,
but it's so wild to think how much has come from that one moment. Like I ended up doing the Day Secret Santa show, and then now I'm in the show with you guys, and now you guys are here on my podcast. Like,
see what I'm saying?
it
And
was
if it
really
had
cool.
been like a no that day for
Right.
you,
Yeah, would have missed out on so much. 'Cause
exactly.
even the friendships that have come out of it, it's
Exactly,
really
exactly.
amazing.
And that's why I I feel so lucky that uh Tosh and I are able to see and feel people's energy like intuitively.
Yeah.
And um we're both Pisces. And so we
Honestly,
like
so interesting.
we kind of just like I always think of this one woman, God, I forget her name, but she's a very successful businesswoman. And one of the questions about like whether or not she does business with someone is she says that like, did I feel how did I feel after they walked
Right.
away?
Oof,
She's
that's
like, no
good.
matter how badly I want to do business with them, or I
Yeah.
like this idea, or I want to collaborate with them, she's like, when they said okay bye and like
Yeah.
shook my hand or gave me a hug or whatever, like signed off, walked away, did they leave with me feeling like
Right.
like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Like there was a part of her that a part that is like relieved and rejuvenated, like, and in hopes to see them again. And we really like to gauge our like, I feel like, business in that way,
Right, right.
or and it's like on the flip side, like, did that person walk away and you felt drained and you felt used or
Yeah.
exploited, or and so I always think about that.
Yeah.
I always think about that. And after our experience, like meeting you and everything, I was like,
Oh, yay! Yes,
I'd
I
love to see
that.
her again. Like,
Oh.
hell yeah. Like, that's the energy I want to have around,
I'm so
someone
glad.
who's like, and we're very much believers in like, if you're like, don't know the answer on the decision, and it's like,
Right.
you just go to like a heart center and you go, is it a fuck yes?
Yes. Yeah.
Or is it a fuck no? Or is it like,
Mhm.
and girl, you jumped in that glass and it was a fuck yes. You spun around up on that ceiling, it was a fuck yes. And so I'm like,
Love it.
if she's bringing the fuck yes to the party, like, that's the energy like we need on our team,
I love it.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that, because I feel like that's also something that I take in with me in dating as well. Just that walking away idea. 'Cause I
Yeah.
get asked that a lot. Because I mean, I'm not very public with my dating life in general, but even when I am seeing somebody, or when I'm not seeing somebody, majority of the time I prefer to kind of be on my own, because there are many men that I meet that I could be in a good relationship with, but it's like, if I don't have that, I have to be with this person, it's not worth it for me. It's like, I have to know that everything in me, like the second I walk away from you, there has to be such a big smile on my face, like the birds are singing, and
Yeah,
like
and that's
the
a
rainbows
favor
come
for
out.
them too.
Yeah, truly,
You know?
truly. A lot of people, I think, will get into relationships, and whether it's business or romantic, and
Yeah.
settle in this place without asking, but is this
feeding my soul? Is this, or am I doing this just to do this?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So there's so many different things, different ways I could take this. I do want to make sure I get a chance to touch on, though, you and Miss Tosh and your guys' relationship, and she told us her side of the story. And I am, especially even after hearing her side, I was like extra curious to hear your side. But I want to know too what it's been like for you, coming out as queer, and then also meeting her, and then just, yeah, I would just love to hear all about that for you.
Yeah. I came out um at a time where it was still like uncool,
Interesting. Okay.
like it was like, whoa, like you only
Wow.
told like a couple of confidants
Okay.
because obviously you didn't like the people pleaser in me was very like I don't want to hurt all these people's feelings who had this like built up image of me like in their
Wild.
mind, and
Yeah.
I could already see that like my experience in telling my family was like um a major like bomb went off.
Oof.
And so I couldn't even tell my family like all at the same time. And see, even my language now, I couldn't tell, and
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's very like later on I um I actually had a good chat with my stepmom who um I was raised with for a long portion of my life, just as my third parent. And she was like, just a couple years ago, she was like, I'm so sorry you even had to come out. She was like,
Yeah.
why, like, that's, isn't that so fucked up that you had to like coddle people before
Yeah.
telling them who you want to
Yeah.
be and who you love? And that gave me really good perspective because like now, like being um in a position like of being a wife, and
Right.
like you need to 100% commit
Yeah.
to being a proud person of this other person and your family, and like so I can't imagine having that same being in that same headspace when uh Miss Tosh and I originally met.
Right.
I was still so like self-punishing and trying to
Oh.
lower my vibration to match other people around me in this sort of like hiding
Wow.
game of
Okay.
like do not break this like reality for other people because they're going to
Wow.
be upset kind of thing. And so that would actually cause upset in the the first queer relationship that I was in, which was, and I was able to look at that later on and go like, gosh, I wish I could like talk to that person now as who I am now,
Right.
and be like, oh, like I'm sorry that that happened, and it seemed like I didn't feel proud of you, or or
Wow.
whatever. I could be assuming these things, but I wish I had the foresight now. And so I would always tell someone now, like, if you're afraid to come out, if you're, just those people don't deserve that, all of that prefacing and all of that buildup,
Yeah. Yeah.
just start living the life. And then if people have
Right.
questions, feel free to give your answers, but don't feel like you owe them,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that was something I really struggled with for a long time. And being in my current relationship with Tosh has really healed a lot of that for me, because I
Wow.
feel like I can fully like embrace my pride and what that means.
Yeah.
um because choosing to live life as a part of the LGBT community is a choice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
And you are not given the same privileges and societal help or expectation in the hetero
Right.
community, which is mainstream everything.
Yeah.
It's history, his story, like literally.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
it's living your life as a queer person with pride is choosing an entirely different simulation. And it's very hard and very hurtful, not just to yourself, but to other people to try to live somewhere in the middle. You inevitably hurt yourself, you
Right.
inevitably hurt someone else. Um, and it's not a long-term solution. Is what I discovered. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna fully have to be like a fuck yes to my life if I want to like be honest and true to myself, my art, my collaborations, my, at my partner, like. And so when I came out, I was very much already a huge fan of burlesque, circus, and it's very much a part of the history of dwarfism as well.
Right. Yeah.
And entertainment in dwarfism and the intersectionality of like where that comes together. So I was already like, we were in the same worlds, but she was in a different city, I was in a different city. And we got connected. I was like goo goo gaga, but was also like, oh, she would never like go for me.
Really?
Yeah, which again, a hurtful assumption.
Yeah.
But I think it was too like myself protecting myself because she was so out and proud, and I admired that so much and was so inspired by that at that time, because there was no like of my era of like community and underground artists, where it is the world I also came from in LA and Hollywood. Very much the underground go-go art scene, mashup, bootlegs, MP3s, like all this kind of stuff. Tosh was the first to be like proudly out lesbian, rainbow flags, LGBTQ, like, and she got bullied for it. And I remember like how hurtful that was, like not just as someone who like admired her, but like as her friend. And I was like subconsciously probably like I she would never, go for someone like me, because I'm not rising to the occasion in the same, my vibration wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? And so to me that feels like I would be lying to someone.
Wow.
And trying to like, and so and I was dealing with some, just a lot of like, I was dealing with family, I was dealing with my first love, I was dealing with coming out, I was dealing, so many things. And I just wouldn't have been in a good place when we first met. I wouldn't have been in a more evolved emotional place.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, oh, I'm just gonna be like asexual.
Wow.
Truly, like
okay.
I chose that, and I would be celibate and totally not date or anything for years at a time, like huge chunks of many years at a time. And would just like maybe flirt with the idea and then be like, no, like I need to focus on my jobs and and all this stuff. And I think that gave me the opportunity to really like get to who I am and like my integrity and like where I'm at and stuff. but I did spend a lot of years like just totally single and in my own and thinking like, oh, I get maybe sex just like or dating like just isn't a part of my life and just kind of accepting that.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Um, and then when I uh, got older and I started traveling a lot and like seeing the world, and
Right.
I was now like um, on my own a lot more and like making my own uh, business decisions for quite some time, and
Wow.
having no like family or like super close friends to really like bounce things off of. I was just kind of like throwing shit at the wall and like see what sticks, you
Right.
know? Um, then I started power working like 4 jobs
Oh wow.
a day
Oh my
from
gosh.
home, like, and that sort of led into like COVID and
Okay.
all of that. And I was sort of like I felt at that time like at peaking in my acting career, and I had made it onto this Netflix show called Glow, which is like a female
Oh
wrestling
yeah.
show.
Okay.
And I had become a like basically was gonna be one of the Glow girls, and had shot like a couple episodes with them.
Oh,
And then COVID hit
oh
while we're filming. They
shit.
canceled the show. I was like fully like I cannot do this again. Like the disappointment was so
Oh
deep,
no.
and that character like was spoke so much to like who I am and how much
Oh
like in-depth research I felt I had done for that role, and the
yeah.
I got to write with the writers and all this stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And
Wow.
then I pivoted once like the with the whole like political landscape at that time, everything, a lot of in your face like diversity and inclusion like really like got rescinded.
Mm,
And um so I pivoted to my other career, which I do field logging for reality shows,
okay.
different times of the year. But I was working for like RuPaul's Drag Race. I was working
Fun.
for a couple other shows because reality TV boomed during COVID.
Right.
Um, and I finally moved to my own place and was really like getting my own like stability. I had my own independence. I had been making my own money for a very long time.
Mm.
And that was another thing like a lot of people just like assumed I lived off of like government assistance, or I lived off
Wow.
my family,
Oh my
or all these
gosh.
things like that they assumed about me, and not knowing that like I'd been paying my own bills since I was 18, you know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah.
So I was like um feeling more like if people push back on that my reality, now I could actually see my own reality because I was in my own place with my own
Right.
contacts, with my own, choice of where I want to go, where I want to see. And I was just not in my like feminine zone at
Okay.
all. And I was like, you know what? I gotta get girlies back in my life. Like, and Tosh, she was always somebody who was like reaching out and keeping up with me and just letting
Mm.
me know that she like supported me.
Oh.
And I was like, you know what? I need to hang out with my girly again. She was like my only out lesbian friend.
Right.
And so um she was going through a breakup. I was like, you know, feeling confident one day and was just like, I have a crush on you. And yeah, the rest is history. We
Oh
have
my
literally not
gosh.
spent a day apart
Yeah, I see you two
since
all
that
together
day.
all the time.
And even I moved to China and for a year, and we minimum 4 hours a day on FaceTime. And I was like, this is
Wow.
my girl. This is
Wow.
my girl.
How
Like,
long have you guys been in a relationship now?
I'd say like 4 years.
Okay.
4 years, something.
How old were you guys when you met? I didn't realize you both were from LA, like from LA.
2012.
That's
We were like 21,
wow.
21, 22.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. That's an
Yeah.
incredible story.
And so we've just always like supported each other, whether it was like in person or afar. And
Wow.
she really gets my humor, and for how glamorous and like all of the effort that she, you know, and skill that she puts into hair, makeup,
Yeah.
producing, props, costumes, like all of that. She is such a clown. She is such a clown. And that's something that I truly, truly fell for her, like, about. I was like, because I was like, oh my God, like, I, if we're gonna spend the rest of our lives together, we gotta clown the fuck out. Like, and so,
oh my gosh.
yeah, and so she's my
Wow.
sweetie.
I love it. I love it. I remember after I first met you two, and I like looked through your guys' Instagrams. I saw your proposal to her, and it was
Aw.
so sweet, and I was just so touched by it. And it's really cool too to see you guys work together because you know you get to see your guys' relationship, but you also work really well together. I mean, you produced this whole show at this amazing theater. That's really impressive.
And that's something I've really learned a lot from her, was that she has such a beautiful ability of um, speaking, like verbalizing, like kind of like I was saying earlier, the different like planes of existence.
Right.
And, you know, she always would build me up and be like, the reality is you are a 1000% capable, and you don't need to give a shit about what other people say.
Right.
And I always have known that, but once we got together, it really, I think, confused some people, and it threatened their idea of who I was
Right.
in their life.
Yeah.
And I've come across a lot of people that I think had this idea of me being like the cute sidekick in their
Oh.
life.
Okay.
And then, and our dynamic isn't that at all.
Yeah.
And that couldn't be farther from why either of us spend so much time together before or after being in a relationship. You know, it became more like, how can we take this electric energy and these ideas, merge them together, and do something both of us always wanted to do, which is like have family unit, have the family
Right.
business, always have your number one, like advocating for you in this circumstance or advocating for you in this circumstance. Like, what a dream,
Yeah.
you know? And
Yeah.
so it really has been like a dream come true. And she, in return, threw me the craziest surprise engagement. And just I still think about it every day. And I
Wow.
literally had no idea that she was gonna propose back. And I showed up, and it was my entire family and like friends from every chapter of
Oh my
not
gosh, chills.
not just my life, but like hers. And then everybody like meeting in the same room, and
Wow.
she's performing like my favorite act of hers. And I was just like, oh my God, like we can curate a whole life together.
Yeah.
And we learn so much from each other and together. And we really, I think, hold each other accountable to you know, take care of our bodies, take care of our families, loyalty, like, you know, and we love animals. We love traveling. And I was just like, oh my God, she's my dream girl. My dream girl.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm very
That's
lucky.
amazing. Oh, I love it. I love it. I thought it was so interesting how you said, way back at the beginning of your story, you said how you couldn't come out because you would hurt people. And it was so interesting to me because um, coming from, like, my dad is from China, and there's been a lot of times where he has said to me, like, why are you doing this? You're hurting me. Or he said that to my brother when we're literally just living our lives, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's really fascinating because a big turning point in my life was when I remember I had a gay friend, and he was explaining his experience to me, and the challenges he had. And it really shocked me because it was so similar to my own. And, you
Yeah.
know, I'm very straight, but I am a very sensual public person, entertainer, and which is very not Chinese culture at all.
Right.
And so it's just it's interesting. I think a big thing, I guess something I'm taking away from your story that I think could help a lot of people is that being true to who you are is not an offense to other people. It's not something that is actively hurting other people.
No, it's the reality of the plane of existence that you see.
Yeah.
Because if you were, let's say you take your dad's advice. Well, how fucking boring does that look?
Oh my gosh.
What does that even look like? You probably wouldn't even be living here. You probably wouldn't even be playing a mermaid. You probably wouldn't even be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like that. Just
It's
like
so
that.
True. Yeah.
By taking shit advice.
Yeah.
And that's something that you know, Tosh and I are big believers in. Never take advice from somebody whose life you don't like see yourself getting inspiration from.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
And what, like, and I will say I, you know, have fallen victim to that as in different stages of my early in my career, you know, in my dating life. And because it's like I said, you look back at the other side and then so, okay, what isn't hurting you?
Yeah.
Hurting myself
Yeah.
by not being true to myself. Like,
right.
So it's a weird and it's a selfish thing.
Yeah.
When people get overwhelmed by you vibrating higher
Yeah.
and doing things that they've never done before,
Definitely.
really threatens people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, especially, I relate a lot to the whole sidekick thing too, because, you know, when I was younger, I was very passive, very, you know, what do I have? I've always been fiery, but I'll like shut the fire down to like, well, what do I need to do for you? How can I uplift you? You know, I always have like a girl best friend who's like the headstrong, and I'm always like the companion, you know. And the older I've gotten, the more I've kind of come into like, I'm actually fiery as fuck and like very like go-getter. And it's interesting when you step into that role how it does offend people.
It does.
It does, like,
especially as women.
Especially, yeah.
It is like
very wild
when a man like stands up for themselves,
right.
But God forbid a woman does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, what's your ethnicity?
My dad, he's from the Bahamas. He's half black from the Bahamas.
Really? I never would have guessed. That's wild. Oh my gosh. I only thought you had like Middle Eastern in you or something.
Oh yeah, I get that a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, just white and Bahamas.
Okay. What? Yeah.
But it is very much that thing, and it's like,
yeah.
you know, and it's the same with culture. It's like, oh, I don't really fit in this one, and I kind of fit in this one. Or today, like I'm trying to like be proud of this one, and then someone's got to knock you down a few pegs, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it very much that, like, being true to yourself reveals a lot of others' truth around you.
A mirror, holding up a mirror to people. I've noticed I tend to offend people a lot, not because I'm a very like big on positivity, but just because I have no problem like being blunt and calling things out, as I expect. My closest friends all do the same to me. It's not a one-sided. I would never want it to be one-sided, but it is interesting that when you call somebody out, and sometimes that's not verbally calling them out, it's by you making a decision to stay true to yourself, will reflect onto other people how they're not being true to themselves.
Yeah.
And it's a bummer, because I think that's when we start putting ourselves into these prisons and we trap ourselves, which is why I'm such an advocate of just be yourself, because you do lose a lot of joy when you're trying to fit into what is acceptable. And I think we mistake being accepted for love, and those two are not the same thing.
Yeah. And I think it's like just speaking truth to your, just getting to the opportunity to come onto your podcast and the whole premise of it and the title. I am really love that, and I'm intrigued by that. Yeah. But it's very much like, because it bend her backwards.
Yeah.
In this patriarchal construct that we are just people inside of, right? There's a societal expectation that women need to tend to the male emotions.
Yeah.
To calm them, fix their upset by using what we have and putting that aside, and to help them, because they have been told that they don't need to deal with their emotional shit.
Right.
It's falls on the emotional labor goes to the women.
Yeah.
And I think that you having, a show like exploring these topics, especially women in entertainment who like historically run that shit.
Yeah.
you know, it's really powerful, because it's like a way to not give a way to cut through a harmful patriarchal system, is not giving the reaction.
Yeah.
And not giving the emotional outburst or whatever it is, or the fawning, or the like band-aiding, it helps them deal with their own shit.
Absolutely.
And it helps us not have fucking heart attacks and aneurysms and strokes, and you know what I'm saying, and just dealing with our own thing.
Definitely.
And being in my relationship now, one thing I've learned a lot is that like when we say like we don't need no man, kind of thing,
right?
It's not as an insult to men. It's literally saying there is a completely different construct, family structure, life, business, everything that is run by women. And all of the decisions are made with what we have in mind.
Right.
For us.
Right.
And if men want to be allies of that and indulge in that and have a good time and bring positive energy, like, I am all for that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and the majority of my friendships in life are male,
Okay.
and
Okay,
I've
wow.
spent the majority of my life with very close male friends.
Right.
So they like, and that's a whole other thing about our show, Beauty of Burlesque, as well. It's not for this like male audience, like, you know, they're
Right.
always trying to get that, we need that male 18 to 25 demographic, like TV movies, like that's a very dated marketing thing
Yeah.
now. And it's more like, how can we highlight people with strong opinions, with strong skill sets, with strong passions, that just
Yeah.
by looking at them, you're like, oh, I'm in a room of like different people with different messages, and it's all new, it's exciting, and it's not for the male gaze, it's for everyone
Yeah.
to enjoy and take a piece from, a story, an inspiration. And like, there's people who go out in the crowd and they come back and they're like, how can I be a part of this? You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah.
So it's more so about that, and the beauty of burlesque, which burlesque is a huge umbrella, and it involves so many different elements,
Yeah.
you know. So it's really just about highlighting that energy, and taking that word, reclaiming that word burlesque from, to its original roots, which was
that.
female led, queer led, and highlighting people with beautiful, very specific skills. People who are smart, people who like parody, people who want to go deeper than just surface.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's a beautiful note to end on too. I love it. Truly, the beauty of burlesque. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This has been,
I'm so touched. Thank you.
Yeah, this has been awesome. Like everything I dreamed. And we'll see the rest of you in another 2 weeks for another episode. Bye.